The next video will show how to create a simple navigation element like a hamburger menu that when you click on it, creates an overlay that then you could select other navigational elements and close this overlay. The video also will show you how to create a full screen overlay that doesn't have to be related to a navigation element. It could be click this picture or click this product for more information and a big overlay shows up. And now consumers can consume what you have in full screen mode. And our goal is just to create an overlay and a close button and explain what's going on. Currently, I have a web page, and that web page has a style sheet, and this is the style sheet. And also new will be this script, and the type of script I'm using is JavaScript. I call my script menu.js because it's a script for the menu. You could call your script whatever you want, .js, including quote whatever you want .js, but this is how you call an external script into the page. You can have inline scripts such as script stuff/script. Between the start and end script elements would be a bunch of JavaScript that you would create. Use this to pull in an external JavaScript. On this page, I have a menu overlay, and all this is just layout stuff. Nothing JavaScript-ness is involved. If I preview this page, saving it, we're just going to see a menu system, no overlay. The overlay is hidden in style.css. If I scroll on down to menu overlay, you can see display is none. If I get rid of that, the big overlay, but I have no way to get rid of this and get back to my overlay. Even if I click on here, nothing's wired up. We'll go wire things up. Display none for this layer. Display none will hide this layer. The layer has a position absolute, and it's positioned 0 pixels from the top. The page has a position relative. This means when the overlay is displayed, it's within the page. If page doesn't have a position relative, then the position absolute will refer to the body tag. I'll add in left 0 pixels or left 0. And now the overlay will take over full screen. Because I want to confine this overlay just to the page area, though you don't have to. I'm just doing this for my demo. I'm going to add in position relative. And still, none of this had to do with the JavaScript. It's just preparing for the JavaScript. You need your layout elements all set up in order to start activating and deactivating things. I'm going to set the menu overlay to hidden again. So display none. And now we're ready to JavaScript to make it show and hide. Click here, show menu. This is the hamburger menu image. To this div, I'm going to add onClick equals something. And that something will be a JavaScript, show menu. I'll get back to this in a moment. This whole thing is the function, show menu with the parentheses to pass through information. OnClick quote, and within the quotes, show menu and add a semicolon at the end. I'll show you what it does, and then we'll take apart the function and look at it. Click this menu, show the menu, excellent, but now I need to hide the menu. Oh, well, I have this other function, hide menu, and we'll look at both of them together in a moment. If this one shows the menu on click, then when you click this ampersand times, which is a multiplication symbol as an entity, I don't want to show the menu again. I want to hide menu, another function that I defined in my JavaScript file. Hide menu, don't forget the parentheses. Show menu, hide menu, show menu, hide menu. In the JavaScript file, I defined a function. I gave the function a name. This name is something unique that I made up, and all functions have to have unique names. After you give it a name, followed by parentheses, no spaces in names. That won't work out in JavaScript. And JavaScript is case sensitive. So here's a show menu function show menu, starts at the curly Q, ends at the curly Q. Much like the same pattern when we define our styles, curly Q to curly Q. This is what this function does. When someone clicks and calls this function, document, go find somewhere in this HTML document, get element by ID. What's an ID? You noticed here, I assign IDs to certain divs. The menu overlay has an ID, so does this close button, ID equals close. Within this get element ID, it passes some information. What information? Go find an element with a particular name, menu overlay, which is this ID menu overlay, that pink overlay layer of our menu. Change its style dot display. Change the styles display to block. Show the menu, change it from none to block. This is the hide function. This is the show function. Let's take a quick look at the IDs. We've been defining properties for layouts and stylizations using class, this dot for the selector. Here, I use a pound sign in a word. Classes, you define classes. You expect a class to be applied to multiple elements. It could be applied to one element. When things are IDs, have this pound sign, you're targeting one element on the page. Emphasize should be one unique element on that page with this pound. To assign this pound menu somewhere, within the div ID is equal to pound menu. This helps JavaScript to go find element by ID, menu overlay by ID. And classes are assigned using the class words. So that's the difference. Classes, things in the style sheet that begin with dot. IDs, things in the style sheets that begin with the pound sign.